What's going on, my friends? Today we are talking about my favorite height for builds in 2K25, and that is the 6'6". This is my most fun build to play on that I'm going to show you eventually, but I'm going to show you 5'6" builds that I ran into or used this year that were very, very good and very, very meta for 2K25. So I'm not really playing this game a whole lot. I've said that in every video this week. So we're really just reviewing this game and talking about, the product that we were given this year. So if you're, a fan of the channel, or you want to see what this channel is all about once 2K26 comes out, I'm going to be posting a ton of videos when 2K26 comes out. By the time you're watching this, we're pretty close to 3,000 subs. If not, we may have hit it. We're like 50 away when I'm recording this. So you guys have been showing a ton of love and support. If you want to go above and beyond and have a special place in my heart, you can actually become a member to the channel. I will sit down with you for maybe 30 minutes in 2K26 and sit down with you and actually, whether it's Discord chat or Xbox party or Discord party or whatever the case is, I will make a build with you depending on your membership that you sign up for. So if that's something that entices you, I always enjoy talking about this game with everyone. It's always a lot of fun talking to you guys about the game. So if that's something that interests you, go ahead and become a member. But I feel a little greedy asking that, but I have to do it. Anyways, 6'6" builds. I mean, this was my favorite height this year. So much fun. Let me see which one this is. This was the one that I pretty much used all the time. So 5 cat breakers here for 99 midi, 4 cat breakers here for 95 speed, and then I think it was 4 cat breakers here. So now you got limitless on gold, and then you can just put your extra cat breakers that you have left after that on agility. The most meta 6'6" build in ProAm was this build. Sweet spot with 85 perimeter and 85 steal. Couldn't go wrong with that. As long as you knew how Devin Booker was used and a Kawhi Leonard was used behind the back, Devin Booker aggressive dribble, whatever that was, and then Kawhi Leonard behind the back, you were set. That's all you needed this year at a tall height. So dribbling this year was very simple. If I had the opportunity to go pro in this game, which I will never, I would use this build. Maybe a different version of it, just because I want more perimeter, which I'm going to show in a second. But for the most part, this is it. I mean, the 93.3 with a 99 midi. I've posted so much content this year over 99 midi. I love midi this year. In the beginning of the year, actually, I made a 6'6" point guard that was a crazy good shooter. I definitely didn't make it very well. I didn't make it like this. But it was so much fun to use. And once that, obviously wasn't the meta, I changed it because I needed a dribble. But this was the most fun build I had this year. If you wanted to have a little bit more like defense, you could make this version of it. So instead of using your cat breakers for 3, you could keep it there. So now you're going 5 here for 99 midi, 5 here for 95 perimeter, and then 5 here for 95 speed. So you're trading out that gold limitless, which I definitely can understand you wanting that instead, for challenger on Hall of Fame. Which, like I said, if I was going to go pro, I would use this build. I'm not good enough, but I would need that extra oomph, that extra help on defense. So having that perimeter to 95 and challenger on Hoff, I would hope that would bail me out a little bit. Challenger is overrated. I posted a video about that last week talking about overrated badges, Challenger being one of them. Contest system is cheeks, but at the end of the day, a Hoff badge is better than a gold badge in the grand scheme of things, whether we like it or not. That is true. So this version of it is pretty good. You get that one more agility too. It doesn't really do anything, but you know what I'm saying. So with takeover, you're going to be walking around pretty much at 99 speed and 93.3 walking around. Very good build. I mean, like I said, these 2 builds I'm showing you right now, my favorite builds in the game this year. So highly encourage, if you are making a build for whatever reason in late June, that you make one of these. Next, I'm gonna show you the lock. I think this is what that is. No, this isn't it. But this is a back-end build that is very, very good. So we can talk about this first. 83.3, so that you have access. There's actually two different back-end builds. This is the one I didn't make. But in ProAm, if you're a big believer in, you know, getting out on the break, you put your 5 cat breakers here on pass. So you have break starter on gold. It's a tier 2 badge. So if you didn't want to put it on box out beast, which, you know, I probably would, but if not, you know, you can have Hall of Fame break starter. Gold break starter is still very, very good. Very, very meta pass here. 87 on a back end. The leak outs in this game were crazy in ProAm, as always. So if you wanted a little extra help with that kind of play style, 5 cat breakers here, so you have an 87 pass. I would do 4 cat breakers here for 98, and then 5 cat breakers here for 92 speed. And then any extra cat breakers that you have left, just keep building that vertical up. Again, like I said with you know, with my previous tall builds this year, 6'8s tomorrow, I'll talk about it as well. These freak athlete 6'6 to 6'9 builds were crazy fun to play with. I'll show you the 6'6 back end after this that I made, but 85 plus vertical felt unbelievable this year. I think maybe it always has. I've never made a build that was just like a freak athlete, but I feel like I picked the right year to do it because the back ends were so much fun to use this year. But yeah, maybe you can go 5 here, 5 here, and then 5 there. So now you got 99 speed, or excuse me, 99 steel, which is just so cracked. I mean, it's not as good as you would hope, but it's good. You know what I'm saying? But if not, you can always just get, you know, your speed still up and then your vertical. But yeah, this one's really just designed for that extra pass there. You can get break starter on gold and have fun with that. The one that I made is no different, except for my pass. So I wanted it to be more of a physical specimen, like the definition of a freak athlete. So I went with my standing dunk at a 72 so I can get rise up. Still with that 83.3. 75, you can still throw the break pretty well. But, you know, I took it upon myself to say, hey, if I'm going to be back end, I'm not going to give up the roll in the PNR, guarding the PNR offense. And I want to box out the center and really not have the center do anything. So because of that, I had to sacrifice a lot of pass, which I wasn't going to throw the break anyways. So that's okay. I went with 88 interior, which is unbelievable. The contest that I got with an 88 interior was unbelievable. This was the highest that I would go. I definitely thought about going 93 interior, but I couldn't get, you know, that 92 strength that you need for post lockdown. 99 steel here, so I use 5 cat breakers here. This is the first part of the cat breakers I use. 99 steel, just whether I was trying to get a steal in the air or a steal on the roll, meaning the center got it on the roll and then I tried to steal, I could get the ball a lot easier with the 99 steel because I have glove on legend. And plus, not having to use a badge +1 on either of these badges was really nice. So I had some flexibility there. And that flexibility was used for rebound. So I put more cat breakers here. Hello, Mike. 5 cat breakers on my rebound chaser. And I badge +1 that to Hall of Fame so I could snag over bigger builds. Obviously, being 6'6", I'm a little, just 1 inch undersized maybe at the back end. You know, I needed to rebound as good as I could. So I would badge +1 rebound chaser to Hall of Fame and box out beast to Hall of Fame. And then we would have Pogo on gold. So freak athlete. And then I'd have 92 speed here. So 5 cat breakers for speed, rebound, and steal. And then a 90 vertical. I used horse takeover. So I got a ton of rebound, pretty close to 99 rebound with take, and then pretty close to 99 vertical with take. So 90 vertical was insane. I used this build in 2s, and I was so fast that I could easily box out, you know, the footers that I was coming up against. So I used this build in 2s to kind of practice ProAm. I didn't really use this build a ton in ProAm, to be honest with you, but when I did, it was so much fun. Really loved this build. It was probably the most fun I had on a build this year, other than my MIDI, aka the best build in the game, in my opinion. Not actually, but you know what I'm saying. My favorite build. 6-6 heights were just so much. 6-6 builds were just so much fun this year. Last one I'm going to show. It's going to be the lock. I made a lock this year, and I don't... No, not that build. Where am I? Two-way sharp, 3-and-D threat. Nah, two-way catch and shoot threat. Yeah. So this is the lock build that I made this year. You know, once we found out that Immovable Enforcer wasn't that good, people moved away from those really quick 6-4 strong builds that I previously showed. So you sacrificed a little bit of speed and agility to just get better bump animations at 6-6. I don't like using the 6-6 just because it feels a bit clunky at lock, but I also didn't want to go up against a 6-6 lock, because if in the right hands, the 6-6 lock was the best lock in the game. I rather use a 6-4 just because I suck at this game, so I need to be able to have, you know, the upper hand in any way that I could this year. I'm just not made for lock in the grand scheme of things, but if I was the best lock in the game and I was making a lock build, it would be this build. So you're gonna have 99 perimeter, 99 steal. You're gonna use one cat breaker here for 93 agility, and then your last 3 on speed. So you have 94 speed, 93 agility. So if you use any takeover that involves speed and agility, you're walking around at 97 speed as a lock in Pro-Am, which is cracked. You could also use this build in the 2s, or excuse me, in the 3s. So if you have a point guard, you know what I'm saying, you need a lock. This is the lock. All right, your shooting was unbelievable. Badge +1 set shot to Hall of Fame is what I would do, so that you're just a good shooter. You can backdoor with ease at 72 standing dunk. You can dunk very easily. This build was very scary to go up against. In the right hands, the bigger locks were better, in my opinion, because you couldn't really shoot over them like you could a 6-4 lock. That's kind of the downside to a 6-4, is that, you know, the 6-4 lock, you're definitely quicker. Attribute wise, the 6-4 is better. You just get more speed and the same shooting. You're just way faster, and the same wingspan for the most part. And you're just way faster. But the 6-6, yes, it was more clunky. But you know, it got better animations, bumping the ball. On the drive, it was better. Like when we played against a 5-out, the 6-4 that we were using at lock was getting cracked and getting cooked. But that's because it couldn't bump a dunker. But then we used a 6-6 lock, and it was a night and day difference. So just kind of a preference at that point when it comes to the lock builds. But to me, this is the best lock in the game in the right hands. I said that 15 times, so I do apologize for that. But yeah, that's the 6-6 height right there. I mean, my favorite height in the game this year, 6-6 and 6-4 for guards were unbelievable this year, and backends. I mean, I use a 6-6 at point guard in the beginning stages of 2K. So I love this. I love this height. 6-8s are tomorrow. I'm excited to show you guys those builds, but let me know what you think about these builds in the comments below. What 6-6 builds did you use that were really good? I'm sure that there's someone out there that used a high dunking 6-6. Dunking just wasn't the meta. You know what I'm saying? The high midi this year was really meta this year. So let me know what you think about these builds in the comments below. Become a member if you really want to show some extra love. But you guys have always shown a lot of love and support, so I do appreciate you. And I'm excited for 2K26. We're going to get our grind on when that game comes out. So I will see you in the next video tomorrow. Goodbye. Peace.